France, a nation renowned for its values of liberty, equality, and fraternity, is facing a disturbing reality. Anti-Semitism, a hateful ideology with a long and dark history, is rearing its ugly head once more. Recent months have witnessed a surge in anti-Semitic attacks, shaking the very foundations of French society. This isn't mere vandalism or hateful rhetoric, it's a wave of violence targeting Jewish individuals and institutions, leaving communities in fear and despair. The increase in anti-Semitic incidents is deeply concerning. Synagogues have been desecrated, Jewish cemeteries vandalized, and individuals openly threatened and assaulted. The frequency and severity of these attacks cannot be ignored. They represent a direct assault on the values of tolerance and respect that France holds dear. This surge in hate speech and violence demands our attention. This isn't just a French issue, it's a global concern. Anti-Semitism, wherever it emerges, is a threat to democratic values and human rights. The rise of anti-Semitism in France serves as a stark warning to the world. We must confront this hatred head-on with unwavering determination and a commitment to protecting all vulnerable communities. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. The recent surge in anti-Semitic attacks in France is not a matter of speculation. It's a grim reality supported by a growing list of incidents. Synagogues, once places of worship and community gathering, have become targets of vandalism and arson. Hateful graffiti, often featuring Nazi symbols, has marred their walls, and in some cases fires have been deliberately set, causing significant damage. Jewish cemeteries, resting places of generations past, haven't been spared either. Headstones have been toppled, smashed, and defaced with anti-Semitic slogans. These acts of desecration not only violate the sanctity of the dead, but also serve as a painful reminder of the deep-seated hatred that fuels such actions. These attacks are not isolated incidents, they are part of a pattern of escalating violence. Beyond the physical damage, the psychological impact on Jewish communities is profound. Fear and insecurity have become pervasive. Parents are afraid to send their children to Jewish schools, and individuals are hesitant to openly express their faith. This climate of fear is corrosive, eroding the sense of safety and belonging that every citizen deserves. The attacks are a stark reminder of the vulnerability of minority communities and the ever-present threat of hate-driven violence. The surge in anti-Semitism has elicited a range of responses in France. The government has condemned the attacks and pledged to strengthen security measures around Jewish institutions. Police presence has been increased, and efforts are underway to identify and prosecute the perpetrators. However, some argue that these measures are insufficient and that more needs to be done to address the root causes of anti-Semitism. Within French society, there's a growing sense of alarm and a recognition of the need for collective action. Many individuals and organizations have expressed solidarity with the Jewish community, organizing rallies and demonstrations to denounce anti-Semitism and promote tolerance. Educational initiatives are also being undertaken to raise awareness about the dangers of prejudice and discrimination. However, the responses haven't been universally positive. There are segments of French society where anti-Semitic attitudes persist, often fueled by misinformation and prejudice. Some individuals downplay the severity of the problem, dismissing the attacks as isolated incidents or attributing them to factors other than anti-Semitism. This denial and minimization of the issue only serve to embolden the perpetrators and hinder efforts to combat anti-Semitism effectively. Section 4. Societal and Political Implications, a Threat to Democracy. The rise of anti-Semitism in France has profound societal and political implications. It undermines the core values of a nation built on the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. When a particular group is targeted based on their religion or ethnicity, it erodes the social fabric and creates divisions within society. The political implications are equally significant. Anti-Semitism often serves as a barometer of broader societal intolerance and extremism. Its rise can signal a weakening of democratic institutions and a shift towards more authoritarian tendencies. The normalization of hate speech and violence against any group poses a threat to the stability and well-being of the entire nation. Addressing anti-Semitism requires a comprehensive approach that involves not just law enforcement, but also educational and social initiatives. It demands a commitment from all levels of government, civil society organizations, and individuals to actively combat prejudice, promote understanding, and foster a culture of respect for all. The fight against anti-Semitism is a fight for the soul of France and for the values of a just and equitable society. Section 5 Conclusion, a call to action. The recent wave of anti-Semitic attacks in France is a stark reminder that the fight against hatred and intolerance is far from over. The incidents are not isolated events. They are symptomatic of a deeper problem that demands our urgent attention and collective action. We cannot afford to be complacent or indifferent in the face of this rising tide of hate. The responsibility to combat anti-Semitism lies with each and every one of us. We must challenge prejudice wherever we encounter it, speak out against injustice, and promote understanding and empathy. Education is paramount. We must equip future generations with the knowledge and critical thinking skills to recognize and reject hate in all its forms. Silence is not an option. It is complicity. We must stand in solidarity with the Jewish community and all those who are targeted by hatred. Let France, a nation that has historically championed human rights and equality, be a beacon of hope and resistance against the forces of intolerance. The time for action is now, for the sake of France and for the future of humanity.